So today I have, kind of the opposite. Last time I made a elemental hit of the spectrum Warden POB, and recently I switched to, I switched to tornado shot, which that meant I went Deadeye. Obviously my investment's a lot higher now. We're about, a little bit over a week in. So, and I tried tornado shot as Warden, but basically here's the trade-offs between Warden and Deadeye. So, Warden, I think you have slightly higher boss slash single target, but then as Deadeye, just everything else about the map you clear way faster. Like, I don't know, Tailwind. I feel like once you use Tailwind, you actually never can go back from using it, because I started using it and I'm just like, I never want to go back to Warden. Like, it feels so much better. It, just has a better feel to it, but, in the last guide, I forgot to show the Merc, which is like, this league, it's pretty big. Especially for, this build. It's, pretty standard. We use the Kinetic Blast one with Haste, Elemental Weakness. And then I use Curse Gloves with Curse Enfeeble, so it's doing Temp Chains and Enfeeble. A lot of people ask what this is. It's Intim on hit, so we get Intimidate also. And then this you obviously need, because otherwise you don't have enough curses. And then I personally went with Brittle Helm, because my crit, I was kind of struggling a bit getting crit chance. So I went with the Brittle Helm. Obviously, if we're not Warden, we play Scorch Boots. Like, these are strong. It usually gives around 15% Scorch. That's what I POB for. Obviously, this is really good whenever you're using lightning damage. Since nearby allies' damage with hits is lucky. Obviously insane for you. And then, I don't know, one thing that really helped my guys start surviving is I got regen on both these pieces, and as you see, it's not even resist cap, but both these pieces having regen really helped for me. That's basically and then obviously this is 25% Physis Fire. This is basically removed from all the rest of the game, so it's kind of needed there. But and then a lot of people ask, why do you have Utmost? Basically, I got this Utmost for a really good deal, on top of the fact that, from what I saw, it was around the same damage, and if this is the same damage as Yoke, for example, I feel like it's better, since you're gonna just do the instant damage versus Yoke. Obviously, you have to stack all your ailments for Yoke to get its max effectiveness. On top of the fact that the spell suppression basically saves you a point. I ended up just dropping this whole wheel because my life was pretty good, so we dropped the whole evade life node. Normally you get the suppression for your cap from here, but obviously Utmost helps with that. And on top of the fact that it gives you max Ellie res, so it's going to make you tankier slightly. Obviously the pen's really good, attack speed's really good. And then, obviously, if you don't play Ellie hit, you don't need Nimmies, so I'm using 2 Tamings. And still Fledgling, of course. And then, a lot of people ask, when can I go Tornado Shot? And in my opinion, you need to have a +2 bow, and you also need a +1 quiver. If you don't have both of these things, do not make the swap to Tornado Shot. I just don't think it's worth it. And of course, you obviously get endless munitions too. But as Warden, you can use Forbidden Flame for this. I personally, Forbidden Flame for Oath of Spring, since it's just it's so much damage. But on Tornado Shot, as you see here, I have 12 passive Cluster Jewel, second 12 passive. And then I've been going with Repeater Streamlines. I don't know if this is fully the best, but it pops for a lot of damage, so. But I have Grace Anger for my Watcher's Eye. Obviously, Ancestral Vision. Natural up here. Threat Out Massive here. I sniped this. I sniped the 16491. This is the best Watcher's Eye for bow. As you see here, we're going to have 1 double damage, 2 double damage. This gives life. This gives 3, 4, and this gives strength. 4, 5. So it's 5 double damage. On top of 5% strength. And there's a 4% life. This is basically as good as it gets. That's basically the tree. I was messing around with buffs on you expire slower, debuffs faster, and also 10% reduced attributes for global defenses, but ultimately, when I went to the 12 passives, I just needed pretty much every skill point to go on the 12 passives. And then I actually got to switch off of, like, helping Alira. So now I have reses. Obviously, this helps a lot. But basically, I think to switch off of tamings, I'm going to have to make a second one of these. Like this 12 passive, I need a second one. But ultimately, that's like... That's only really, like, relevant if I go, like, for a mirror tier ring, or let's say I buy, like, a frenzy ring or something, or, like, some sort of two synth ring. That's when that'll, like, come into play, but as of now, like, that's probably as good as it's gonna get. And also, Wine of the Prophet, I like, a lot of people ask, is it worth it? And the way I see it, I'm, like, always using a rarity flask, right? So if I'm using a rarity flask that gives my character, like, some sort of character power as well, I feel like that's just really good. So that's how I feel about using this. And, like, the 12 passives, too, it's like, it's not like you need these necessarily, but I feel like with the Tornado Shot attack speed nerf, it's just really nice to have the extra attack speed. It's, like, just really nice. But ultimately, you could just still use the 8 passives. It's fine. I would switch to, like, the 12 passives only when you can afford it. But of course, like, let's do a map showcase everyone wants to see. I personally think Tornado Shot is the best bow skill. Still. It comes down to the fact that it just feels the best. Like, I mean, it just deletes. And also, another, like, hidden bonus of Tornado Shot is you can actually, like, kind of be ranged. Versus, if you're using, like, Nimmies, you sort of have to stand close to make sure one of your projectiles hits, right? That's what I've always noticed about Nimmies, so I notice myself always slightly in, like, melee range, for example. Versus, like, if you're playing Tornado Shot, you just shoot, boom. I'm killing everything ahead of me. I don't have to, like, be near. Like, boom, I open the box, I can blink away. All my damage is, like, instantly going off. Like, sometimes when you use, like, Nimmies, for example, obviously you have to use Nimmies, but it's, like, sometimes your arrows don't hit everything, and it's, like, you know, it's not the best. Obviously, the more arrows you're shooting, the less likely that is to happen. But I know personally, before I had the +2 bow, using, like, Ellie hit, sometimes I was just noticing with Nimmies, like, my arrows not hitting. Then that's when I went and crafted a +2 bow. Obviously, I'll probably have to make another build guide once, like, there's a Fizzbow creation. I was considering, like, maybe making it myself, too, but we'll see. Or even just, like, an Ellie bow, just having a synth bow. Having a synth bow always just feels 10 times better than not, because it's gonna have more attack speed because the implicit. As here, I mean, T17s are like, the, like, Tech W joke now. Pretty much just the full deletion. I guess let's get to the boss so you can see how fast the boss dies. I mean, I guess with this many HH buffs, like, the boss is gonna instantly die probably, right? I assume. Like, I don't even actually know, but oh god. 4 Divine Orbs. Seems good. That wasn't even like an Arcanist strongbox. Streamer client is, like, added again, I guess. Yep, there. Boss died instantly, basically. I've still been running Fortress. I mean, yokes have been definitely dropping drastically in price, but I don't know. If you get 3 Divines for a yoke, it still feels really good. And, like, all the T17s this league are actually pretty similar priced, because T16.5s are, like, a really good source for T17s, which is, like, it's definitely nice if you want to farm T17s, right? The fact that they're not that expensive. Like, I feel like a lot of times by this time in the league, Fortress is, like, 1 Divine, and it's... You don't super want to pay it because, like, a lot of times by this point in the league, when yokes are kind of, like, low in value, I usually swap to, like, A-Bomb or, like, Sanctuary. For this league, I can just keep doing Fortress. My Fortress is definitely my favorite layout. Like, if I can do Fortress, obviously it doesn't have the best boss fragments, but not the end of the world. I would say A-Bomb, in my opinion, is like the next best, though. It's like, in terms of boss fragment to cost of map, the only downside of A-Bomb really is like the boss can be super rippy if you have like plus projectile, like area effect map. I've been definitely like killed really fast on the boss, but other than that, it's kind of fine. It's basically the same layout nearly as Fortress, except the boss is different. But it's like ultimately up to you. I don't know if you guys like. I personally won't even do any mechanic in my map except the like when I'm farming. Like Legion without it being spec'd, it seems like it does nothing. So basically just skip everything, open every box, kill the boss, go next map, however long that takes. It's kind of the key. Because boxes is pretty much all about speed. Because like 90% of your currency drops are obviously coming from the boxes. That's for another video. Like we can explain like all the variations of boxes, etc. I don't even think T17 is the best version of boxes. I think the best version of boxes is probably T16.5, 8 mod. But it's kind of annoying to get like these in bulk still. So I feel like you'd almost have to like farm your own if you wanted to do that. I might like try a bunch of these in T16.5. See like what it's like. Especially when you consider in T16.5, you can also have like jackpot divination cards on top of the fact of I think you're gonna always have more map quant on a T16.5 8 mod. You're probably gonna even have like more currency, more scarabs, like all your map effects are just gonna be better. So in that regard, I'd say it's like it's just always better if you can at least like mass produce them or something. I don't know how everyone else feels about that, but I know also another thing a lot of people ask is like, is containment worth it? And in my opinion, it's like pretty much if you're doing T17, you always do containment. I feel like almost no matter the price. Even when it was like 2 divines per, I was still like pretty much massively making profit over the course of like hours, like because I'll just do this all day. So obviously sometimes like in a 5 map sample it's not going to be good, but if you do like a 100 map sample it's going to be good. So that's it. Like there's tornado shot. I mean I feel like tornado shot's just insane. Just feels so good to like use, etc. That's pretty much it. I feel like I covered everything. Tornado shot versus Ellie hit, Warden versus Deadeye. What like I showed my Merc, like what else do I need? Maybe if I forgot anything, tell me in the comments. I'll make sure to remember it for the next vid, but that's all for now.